7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Rise to Liberty podcast. I am your host, Jacob Johnson. First, I would like to say it's a great honor and privilege to be here on End the Two-Party System Network. It was honestly a great surprise and really stoked. It really made me stoked when somebody had reached out offering this position. So I would just like to send a great thank you out to the End the Two-Party System staff, everyone that works on the show, all the other hosts for these shows. Honestly, it's great. And we're going to do great stuff together. We will end this two-party system. So exactly, what am I doing here? I'm here to break your government-sanctioned programming. What do I mean by that? We have all been either through public school or exposed to pro-government programming at some point. It's pretty much everywhere. So, how are we going to do that? First, I would like to introduce myself. Why should you even listen to me in the first place? What am I all about? What do I believe? To put it simply, I am a libertarian, registered libertarian, big L, some people call it. I was little L for a long time, not involved with the party. What got me involved in the party was because I have been a libertarian for so long, but yet I was embarrassed of my party. I didn't want to be associated with it. I wasn't happy with a lot of the things being said by my representation as a libertarian. I pretty much just thought that by living the lifestyle, talking about it as much as I can, promoting it, and then voting anytime it came around. I've got complicated feelings about voting. We'll get to those at some point. However, I still do vote. So, about 2020, at the start of the most recent craziness, that the past 2-3 years has just been insane. I don't know how any rational person could look at anything that's happened from almost any position and think that this is how things should be, things are okay. So I realized it was, I have said this before, it wasn't a realization. The past 2 years, the COVID lockdowns, all of these things, they were all radicalizations. What do I mean? I realized that the two-party system, the powers that be, the elite, whatever you want to call them, it's all the same thing. Their insatiable hunger for power and control will never be satisfied. Ever. It was time for me to put my money where my mouth is. So I got involved. So, more about what I do. So personally, I am the chairman of my local Libertarian Party county affiliate of Weber County, Utah. There was not a party when I got involved, and so I made it happen. We've been growing slowly, and I'm not necessarily opposed to that. We are in the right climate for things to grow like that. Honestly, it's been really great to be able to sit and learn and work with the Utah Libertarian Party, which is some of the best groups, or the best group of people um, that I think I've ever met. They're honestly great. I'm really impressed with all of them. I have grown to deeply care and respect these people, and I'm honored to be a part of any movement that they're in. So, on top of chairing my county affiliate, I am also, involved with a few different committees with the state party. I work very closely with them. Outside of that, I am a state organizer for the Libertarian Party Mises Caucus. We'll talk more about them later. Unless you already know, then you already know exactly what I'm saying. I will be covering those, all these different factions, these the groups, at least from the way that I see it. So it's going to be fun. Beyond that, of course, I host the Rise to Liberty podcast. I started this podcast mainly to do what I said, break that government programming, to be able to add to the conversation. And on top of that, I just saw this climate, this hatred towards free speech. I have always been very outspoken, very opinionated, very strong-willed. And so I just felt like this was the thing I had to do. Now, I don't do anything half-assed, so I have every intention of growing to be the absolute most massive liberty-based podcast. Mark my words, it will happen. Period. Now, beyond that, what do I believe? What do I really think about things? And that's partially what I'm doing here. Exploring my own beliefs, helping you to explore yours, exploring other people's beliefs, trying to come to a conclusion. It's great because it's never going to end. You should always be self-improving, should always be questioning, putting your theories and opinions to the test. So it's great from a podcast perspective. It never ends. It's great. So what is it that I actually believe? You'll have to stay tuned to find out. Just kidding. There's a lot to, I would say, not just my personal philosophy, but the philosophy in general of libertarianism. To break it down one step further, I myself personally do not speak for all libertarians. I do not speak on behalf of the National Libertarian Party. In this moment, I am not speaking on behalf of the Utah Libertarian Party or the Weber County Libertarian Party. This is myself and my own beliefs. My personal beliefs can be broken down to an anarcho-capitalist, which we can get into. I have covered some of this on my show before. But it's a fascinating topic, and I would love to get into it a lot deeper, especially with people who oppose it. But first, we've got to know what it is, and we will be getting into that within the next couple of episodes for sure. Basically, here's the bottom line elevator pitch for what I believe. I own myself. I own my life. I own my body. I own my labor and the product or result of my labor, which is my property. Because I innately own these things, that gives me the ability to choose or consent to either giving them away, lending them, sharing them, or choosing to sell them. It is my life, and absolutely no one else has any right or claim to any aspect of my life, labor, or property without my consent. These are non-negotiable and apply to everyone. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. This is universal. Doesn't matter where you are, your age, color. Okay, I'm done with that. Trying to break out of trying to explain that. I shouldn't have to. Everyone. Period. Any violation of this is what many consider, myself included, to be an act of aggression. And this act of aggression is immoral. An individual once, or as an individual, once someone has aggressed upon me by violating one or more of the previously mentioned principles, I have the right to defend myself from that act of aggression, to preserve my life, even and up to including the defensive use of firearms. This is the basis of the non-aggression principle. Also, private property rights. I have a right to my life. You don't own me. Government doesn't own me. I choose to be a part of things. It's all about consent. I would love to hear argument about how my consent is overridden because of X. And it happens. I'm not opposed to hearing these ideas, but this is what I believe. I believe this for many reasons, which keep watching my show and I'm sure I'll expand on that a little more. The biggest reason is it seems the most logical, the most moral, ethical way to treat everyone. Don't hurt people. Don't steal each other's stuff. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. So, if you have an issue with, if you were angry at what I just said about what I believe, well, you're probably not going to be for you. I would like you to keep watching because I would much rather have you be on my side than any other. There's a lot to it, and not all of it is digestible right at the very top, especially when you're just hearing these ideas for the very first time. I wasn't born a libertarian or an anarcho-capitalist. I wasn't born inherently believing in these things. I have learned and continue to learn, usually through historical evidence, personal experience, and a combination of just everything put in together. I've considered everything from all different sides, and that's what I believe. So on the basis of that, that's where I'm coming from. That's where this show is going to go. Going to make the argument that not only is this the best belief, but even though I feel that way, there is still how do I phrase this? I have no issue with people feeling any other way. It's not me. I'm not a dictator. I have my opinions. And if you agree or disagree, that's fine. I have no issue with disagreement. The things I have an issue with is irrational people, illogical people, and unreasonable people. I can pretty much talk to anybody. I can't stand unreasonable people. So, I have a big issue with NPCs, people that just repeat the narrative, the talking points. It's fine if you even believe those things, but why do you believe those things? Have you never questioned these things? And when somebody does question you about these things, how do you react? Because let me tell you, that says a lot more about you than it does about me for questioning them. I like honest people, regardless of what they believe. I can work with honest people. I can set aside my personal biases, my personal dogmas, and actually come together with what you would think would be, I don't want to say enemy. I refuse to work with certain people, but that's on a personal, person to person basis, not a ideological basis. Um, Anyone who believes something antithetical to me, if we agree on one issue, I can set aside my beliefs to work on that one issue collectively. I have no issue with that. We can talk about the other stuff later. So, what am I doing here, and why did I accept the invitation to become a part of this network? The two-party system is actually a one-party system. I have had this argument and this discussion with many people that there's an actual difference between Democrats and Republicans. Now, right out the gate, of course, every individual is different. But that doesn't mean that. Okay, so much as I don't speak for the entire libertarian movement, the party, on many different levels, not one person represents everybody that believes one thing. I get that. But let's talk about the machine. The powers that be, the people that have been in power. Your Nancy Pelosi's, your Chuck Schumer's, your Mitch McConnell's, the Bush family, the Bush crime family, the Kennedy crime family, the Biden crime family. You can talk about any of these war criminals. Let's just say it. These are all mafia families. They don't care about you. They have zero interest in your interest. They will stop at nothing to be able to feed their own narcissism, pump up their own bank accounts, scratch their friends' backs. They don't work for you. They smile on TV. And if you noticed, my logo, it's a mesmerizing TV. Because what is shown through that is one of the most divisive technologies that have been turned against us. Which is funny because I'm talking to you through a screen as well. I am trying to fight back against that. Trying to break that programming. It's important to me to get people away from supporting war. It's a violation. We have no right to kill somebody else unless in self-defense. Yeah, reactionary, it's fine. We can get into the weeds in a lot of this stuff. I'm sorry, but spending 20 years in the Middle East resulted in what? What exactly? Other than just mass amounts of harm, death, famine? It's insane. We had no right to do that. And on top of everything, back out just a little bit and just think about it. Did we end terrorism? Did we end the war on terror? Or did we just create more of it? To create more of an excuse, to create more dependence upon a one-party system. Now, one-party system, yeah, they say they're Republican, they're Democrats. And yeah, I'll admit there's, some senators, some congressmen and stuff that are definitely more in touch with their local community that they actually represent. Not all of them are terrible. However, it's the majority leaders or the big names that have been in office without leaving for decades. Biden. He's pretty much been in office since he left law school. When he was running for president, I just thought it was crazy. It's like, you're telling me this guy's been in office for, let's see, what, 50 something years? I don't know the exact number. A long damn time. He's been able to do very little this whole time, and now he's going to do something? I'm not buying it. So, these people, you got to think. This is the way I see it, anyways. Cops hang out with cops, right? Firemen hang out with firemen. There's a little crossover there. But what I'm trying to say is rich people hang out with rich people. Okay? These people have been able to manipulate the market in several different ways, passing legislation, insider trading, all of these just disgusting things. With our money, by the way. And even though that they pretend to be enemies in front of the camera, their kids, their grandkids, they all go to school together. They all have play dates. They go to the same restaurants. They attend the same social events. Not all of these people are enemies until the cameras come on. There is plenty of evidence out there to prove exactly what I'm saying. And any chance that I get, I love exposing the hypocrisy, trying to lift that veil and break your programming. So basically, from what I understand, from things I've personally heard, I think Tulsi Gabbard actually has one of the best ways of explaining of how things work at the Capitol. That it's more of like high school cliques. So sit and think about that. And we'll definitely touch on this more. So I didn't really intend for this to be a really long episode. I just wanted to introduce all of you to myself, spout off for a little bit, talk about how I hate the government, talk about how them abusing us in the name of safety is absurd. That is so incredibly manipulative that to think that we can't live without them. And that is exactly what they do. That's what I'm here to disprove. I believe in every single one of you. I believe every single one of you individuals have the right to do whatever you want with your life, your body, your labor, and the product of your labor, which is your property. Every individual has the right to that and to be able to do with it what they see fit. They have to give consent. I believe people are strong enough, smart enough, and powerful enough to be able to do these things by themselves. That's not to say it's easy. With freedom and liberty comes responsibility. It is true, not everybody is going to want that amount of freedom. Some people truly are comfortable being plugged into the matrix. To me, it's a sad thing to see. My personal opinion is that these people, these unreasonable, illogical people who just can't at all unplug at all, need to be mocked and ridiculed. They need to be made an example of. I don't see any other way to deal with them. Otherwise, you keep trying to wake them up, and it does destroy you. I've seen it. I've gone through it. Doesn't mean to treat them badly necessarily, call them names. I take an interesting approach. I tend to destroy with reason, logic, and evidence. Make them look stupid. They might not see it, but somebody who is watching the conversation, if it's on social media, or hears the conversation, watches it, whatever, however the conversation is happening, you might wake somebody else up. So, I think I'm pretty much going to end it there. So let's talk about the show just a little bit, what I have going on, where you can find me, all these different things. Excuse me. So, of course, you can find me right here in the Two Party System Network. My plan for this show is I am going to be doing or uploading some of my previous content from my main platforms. Kind of catch up, upload some of the back catalog. One thing I did forget to mention, I am actually currently running for public office here in the state of Utah for the House of Representatives for District 9, accepting donations, cash, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, and actually Monero. Something I didn't even get into yet. Oh, Monero, I love you. So, outside of these things, because I'm pretty swamped, I've got a lot on my plate. I can't guarantee consistent original content specifically just for here. But with that said, at the end of the election cycle, I will be able to have a lot more of that time to be able to dedicate exclusive content just for in the Two Party System Network. Otherwise, there's a bunch of other great interviews. I try to bring on the most interesting guests, even if you've never heard of them. Of course, the Libertarians are all great, and I'll get anyone on who I haven't had on yet. But I promise anyone who I get on my show to have an interview, there's a reason why I choose these people. And all it takes is just diving in. So, beyond here, you can find me actually on another partnership I had just started. If you have a Roku streaming device, there is an app in the Roku App Store called Regional Prime Television, and it's all Liberty-based content from regions all across the United States. Highly recommend it. You can find me there. At some point in time, I will also be doing exclusive content for that platform. Otherwise, to my main content, risetoliberty.com is where you can find me. You can find me on YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey. Typically, I do live streams Sundays and Mondays. The times kind of vary depending on guest availability, so you got to stay in contact. Those are my main platforms. I also upload to Odyssey. Please go over to Odyssey and subscribe. It's a great platform. Jeremy Kaufman, you're totally rad, and everyone else over there. As far as social media, the best place is Instagram, Twitter, Telegram. I recently dropped Substack. That's just kind of a pet project, so don't expect a whole lot of uploads, but it will get done eventually. Another platform that I highly recommend, at least the people I know on there are cool, is Clubhouse. I do have a Rise to Liberty Club on Clubhouse, which you can subscribe to. If you want, just reach out to me, and I can send you the links or anything. Actually have more of an ability to be able to start doing more content on there that will be only exclusive to Clubhouse. Some of these will have replays. Some of them won't. Some conversations don't need to be recorded, and some of them just need to disappear into the ether. I'm going to have great guests on there. It's going to be live, and it's going to be a lot of fun. You'll have the opportunity to speak with some really interesting people. So make sure to check me out there. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. You know, I can't remember everything. I've tried to build in redundancies and backups and everything. This message is not very friendly to the state, and considering their control in all of these platforms, it could all just disappear. Every little bit of work. So, yeah, if I have left anything out, if you want to find me, get a hold of me anywhere else, risetoliberty.com/links. That will bring up a way better version of a link tree that I have found. And it will have all of my links to pretty much everywhere I am that's active. Like I'm keeping some of them off just as backups. So it's pretty much where you can find me. And on that, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you for making it to this point in the episode. It's a great pleasure to be here. I look forward to having great conversations and getting great feedback and just interacting with the community here. I hope you guys welcome me with open arms, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So with that, all I got to say is thanks for watching, and until next time, stay free, my friends.